So for the last 20 years, companies have been gradually transforming into a digital transformation path and following some of the trends like the internet, like mobiles, and so on. And each one of the companies, maybe many of you, have been on a digital transformation journey, and they had roadmaps which span from 1 year to 10 years. And then COVID hit, and everything has changed since. So a study that was recently done by Twilio, which is one of the leading communication agency, they said, after consulting with a number of industry specialists across globally, they said that COVID has changed or has sped the digital transformation by at least 6 years for many of the organizations at a global level. So we're going to hear from our panelists here. Maybe we'll start with Dr. Ahmad, since he's the closest to me. And we'd like to hear from him about how COVID has changed many of the industries, and specifically the construction industry, and how the sector has changed pre-COVID, during COVID, post-COVID, from both business aspects as well as how the company responded to this challenge.
Thank you, Salim. Actually, the journey of digital transformation within Khatib and Alami started long time ago, before COVID. As a consultant, we were one of the pioneers who implemented geographic information system with almost more than 200 developers within the engineering company. We infused a lot of engineering applications with technology that we use and we develop internally. We're, of course, a platinum partner with Esri, and we're one of the also leaders in that. What we have done before COVID, we integrated our work with the cloud, especially when we talk about buildings and infrastructure. And we've been working with the BIM 364. We have like 4 design centers: India, Egypt, Beirut, and UAE. So we integrated all together, and we created a roadmap for the BIM implementation, and all our projects, almost like 60 to 70% were on the cloud already. So when the COVID came, it only gave us another push to integrate the 30% left. The approach that we have used for our integration through the cloud is a bit different than maybe normal ways of doing things. We treated the digitalization from a knowledge management point of view. So we've created communities of practice, and these communities of practice have linked designers from all design centers and geographies. So when we started, I remember we started like 32 people, and now we're more than 400, 500 people within this community. And then during the COVID, we've done a lot of training online, and of course, at the beginning, we were hesitant that if this work or not, and we discovered that there's a lot of focus, to be honest, happening when people are also online. Everyone is at his place with no distractions. The production was seamless. We did not stop any production for any of our projects. We went even further. We developed a new procedure and process and strategy. We call it working remotely. And this was leveraged in some places, was leveraged by some of our clients in that. We linked the development of projects or delivery of projects with an internal WBS development system. So any project that will be developed, we use first Microsoft project, and then we later on integrate with SAP. So it's like, it's like a journey with many milestones. And it helped us that we almost had 0 project interrupted during COVID.
I'd like to hear from Gerry about the role that cloud and mobile is playing in companies, in global companies like Ramboll, and how they've managed in this journey.
Or before COVID, that certainly we'd been working in the cloud for a long time. It did help when we wanted to have that continuity with projects. And what we actually found was when people were working from home, say even in one of our outsourced centers in India, the fact that they had an internet connection, they may not have even a powerful computer with virtualization, but we found that that was really important. As long as you have the internet, you can actually access the data. one thing that's important for us, certainly when we talk about mobile devices, I think it's important to note that, you know, for design or construction projects, we are using massive models, very complex geometry. You know, these things are really huge to open on a normal computer. The fact that we use sort of cloud technologies that actually optimizes the data so that people can see it on a phone or on an iPad. For me, you know, as you said, having people in different locations, we can upload these huge models. You know, it could be a Revit or a Tekla model, but a big thing about, you know, having dispersed locations, could have the client in one country, design team, contractor in different locations, is they can have the ease of consuming the information once it's on the cloud. It's optimized. People don't have to open a large Revit or Tekla model. They can open it on the browser, you know, sort of do some verification of the model, actually look at it properly. And that for me is one of the, you know, the key things. I think it's a bit of a leveler so that people, regardless of where you are in the stakeholders, can actually view the information very easily. Even though we're dispersed teams, I think it's been mentioned before, all of the presentations today, we've seen all the dashboards. Once that information is on the cloud, then, you know, the people in the different locations can have instant access to it. They can see the status, you know, of the current project. We can add information, flag up issues in real time, and people can get notified of that. So I think it lends itself to the mobility and the speed that we deliver projects in the Middle East. And for me, you know, it's just COVID has only, you know, escalated and sped up the sort of implementation. So I think it's great, and you know, we're only going onwards from here, I think.
Oh, it's definitely in the surpass project that we have in the region. Cloud is a way to get over those challenges and to bring teams together. So we're glad to have Mr. Badr with us, representing Saudi Aramco, which is the largest corporation globally, as well as PMI branch in Saudi. So we'd like to hear from you about some of the challenges and opportunities that the construction and oil and gas sector in general has witnessed in the new era of construction now in Saudi and across the region.
Yes, there are many challenges, to be honest. One of it is the speed of the internet. A lot of countries, including Saudi Arabia, investing a lot on the infrastructure for the speed of the internet. For example, Saudi Arabia is among the top 10 countries in the world, the speed of the internet. Why the speed of the internet is important? Because there is a lot of computations around the cloud that require a decent speed of net that makes sure that we'll run the operation safely. So the speed of the internet that's one of the challenges. Second thing is the infrastructure. You need to have to build enough infrastructure for the cloud to operate. Mm-hmm. One of the challenges that we noticed when we trying to build the cloud, like Khatib and Alami, we've been starting this actually more than 15 years ago to build the building block for the infrastructure on the IT sector. So we could really have those solutions come and integrate with each other, and then later on the cloud. So that's from challenging perspective. With opportunities for the construction is really huge, and it was really evident when we hit by the pandemic. When we were hit by the pandemic, a lot of companies and countries were struggling to operate. Whenever, in our case, have a single interruption in terms of production of oil, production of refining project, or in our projects in Saudi Arabia or even globally. Why? Because we have enough infrastructure on the cloud that we could communicate and run our operation through the cloud. Inspection of equipment and facilities over the cloud, having communication, seamless communication with the team. Literally, we don't have to be in the site. We don't have to be in the office. We have the communication means video, audio, or otherwise through the cloud. We are reviewing the 3D model on the cloud, making interactions on the cloud, and that's something really huge. Now, what that lead us, we thought that we will slow down after the pandemic, but what we noticed, no, we got an opportunity for us to be more efficient after the pandemic. So now, utilization of the cloud is the way to go.
In many organizations, we have a tool set mentality where people different stakeholders are actually functioning and operating on some on paper, some on Excel spreadsheets, some on amazing tools and platforms and in general. But however, there's lack of collaboration. And this is where the challenges is actually facing when it comes to digital transformation. We require a platform, so the target is going to a more cloud construction. And by cloud, we're looking to a matrix of communication. So we're looking at a horizontal level where departments manage to collaborate together. And we're looking to a vertical integration where at a business level, people will still be able to utilize the functional modules of the cloud. And that's where the internet will come in and the speed. But at least it's being minimized by having access to certain modules over the cloud. And then from a management level where you'll be able to pull a report on that data, analyze it, and do some workflow. And then, of course, decision makers will be able to, on the speed, be able to take decisions from business intelligence and artificial intelligence data gathering.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the platform story, where your information is stored and how much intelligence you can get out of it. And on the intelligence side and the AI, probably Dr. Ahmad, if you'd like to share with us a little bit about the role maybe that AI and maybe some other technology trends are playing in the industry.
Sure, and before that, I would like to just support what Fady was saying. Is the collaboration and synergy internally and externally is a key point. What we faced internally is when we started the implementation, and if we only rely on one let's say sector or department to do the implementation, it will fail. If not all will work together, then also it will fail. So also what we also discovered that running only the digitalization by itself without a backbone of support, we will not also achieve innovation. So what we have done is, for example, in the BIM implementation itself, we created like 3 lines. After we finished the roadmap, we created another 2 lines. One is development. So what we have, we started with 1 person or 2. We started training from each department. We took champions. We started training them on writing scripts based on BIM technology. And in this case, we started automating tens and hundreds of processes that we do to save time. Not only to save time, but to enforce quality. Because we face a lot of, let's say, challenging milestones that we need to deliver. And then we said, okay, so this first step. Now, the next step is when we took these scripts and applications that we have developed, and we implemented AI and machine learning on many of them. So we said, if we only do scripting, then also it will not work, because still people need to have a lot of input, and there is no prediction for the future. So we have implemented machine learning, and especially in the structural department and infrastructure, there's a lot of scripts that we have done and applications that we have done. It does a lot of computational design, parametric design, and that was all developed internally and integrated with the BIM technology. If we take this a little bit further even, to the external synergy and collaboration. So we do, along the supply chain, let us say, we do collaborate with a lot of companies like Schneider Electric. We have done, we have 2 projects in Abu Dhabi running for water and electricity. With Innovize, we have also worked a lot, and we're working. So we have we work with many technology advisors, technology companies to achieve this milestone also. It's not only to automate, but to innovate. So innovation comes when we implement AI, and then we also link it, of course, to IoT. So at the end, we will have a digital twin that is smart and geospatial enabled. So we link it also to the GIS. So, you know, it's kind of it looks like complicated, but at the end, we'll have like a smart mobility, smart cities, smart buildings, and this all, of course, has BIM, IoTs, and AI on it.
I think the convergence of those technological trends, as you said, IoT, AI, machine learning, and maybe digital twin and so on together will provide the added value that consultants like Khatib and Alami can differentiate themselves in the market from others, for example. Do we have any questions from the audience?
So I have a question for Mr. Badr. As companies aspire to embrace digital transformation, you know, one of the recurring challenges is there is a digital skills gap between hierarchies of construction teams when we talk about engineers or laborers or even vendors and subcontractors. So how did Aramco tackle this challenge to bridge that gap?
I think what we started with is we establish an organization dedicated for digital transformation. We have a vice president reporting to the CEO. His job is to make sure that the entire system within the company are integrated within the company. I think you mentioned that the working in silos and how we to integrate those digital transformation as a company-wide. And that admin area, which is a vice president level, created that synergy between all the functions within the company. Now, this is as maybe software or hardware or processes and how we integrate them together. However, we also establish the skill set required for those professionals and consultants on the way they want to transform the company in digital transformation. We have several programs, actually one of them with PMI, with the code and no code program, where we have a certification program for all individual. Every single individual part of the digital transformation has to go through a training program, ended with a certification that enable him to work in the company and process the digital transformation pillars. We have, I think, 18 pillars on to transforming the company in digital transformation, and every pillar have consultants or specialists within the company are certified with that. So that we have established a competency map for the digital transformation. Maybe we can share it with you later, with a certification module for all the professionals within that admin area.
Gerry, and given now all the large size of models and data that's being shared globally between your various offices and so on, do you think we have enough infrastructure to support in this? You think the cloud will be able to manage well this sheer size of information?
I hope so, or else we're doomed. But I think we do. I mean, you know, data centers, etc. You know, one of the, you know, these are one of the most kind of sort of type of projects that, you know, where every country, and as we heard earlier, KSA are very specific about having the data in country, you know, and this type of thing. I mean, it's, yeah, I think, and it's not only, you know, the stuff that we're talking about today. You know, if you look at Facebook or Meta, everything is, you know, that's what our society is based on these days. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we're going to get any shortage. Hopefully they won't start charging more for it, but you know, this is the way. But no, it's not just the construction design sector. Our whole, you know, social kind of economy is now based on the cloud. So yeah, so I don't think, and we can't run out, put it that way.
The area here is becoming a hot area for those data centers to grow and to establish their presence across the different countries in the region. Fady, you know that construction projects are largely seen as unique and bespoke, and in most cases involve multiple stakeholders. How does a company like yours try to address those challenges, and how cloud technology is helping?
When it comes to a construction project, it's a different industry than any other industries. It's unique by itself, because it doesn't follow a standard procedure. It's kind of a blockchain where things are dynamic more than a stable path. So you have a lot of functional conditions that can impact. So you have to always try to align your design versus your drawings, your 3D BIM model, your plan, schedule, your BOQ and estimate. So many factors that need to be collaborated into one. And this is where what we help companies is by providing them with a platform where you can actually bring that digital transformation collaboration tool and being able to have a synergy of one unified coding structure. And one of that, because I think there was a survey done in 2019 by KPMG where they found that 95% of data are left unused. And one of the reasons is because those data are unstructured. So we have a lot of data. It's sitting there in emails, in files, in papers, or even in softwares, but it's left unused. And that's an enormous waste of such an important asset. On top of that, 13 or 15% of people's time is wasted to search for those data. So we have them, we save them, but we spend time to search for them. And this is where we come in, is in order to digitize and digitalize the entire organization and project by having that collaboration.
You've mentioned an interesting topic with the blockchain, and I believe Mr. Badr maybe has some insights on how blockchain could be used to change the way we procure and deliver projects.
Absolutely. We're not creating Bitcoin, if that's the question. No. We realize that there is a huge potential in the blockchain. And we explored for the last 2 years on how to capitalize on the blockchain in a way that we have transparency in the procurement process, transparency on the invoicing process, from the contractors all the way to the subcontractors and vendors. What we notice is that when we progress in the work site and we try to process the invoice to the main contractor, that does not disseminate to the vendors and subcontractors and the agencies. So what we thought was to establish a blockchain, which we are in process of establishing it right now, is to have all the parties involved into that project, to that milestone involved in the blockchain. So once the project or that milestone is being achieved, that will unlock one data point, it goes from the contractor to the subcontractors and to the vendors. So when we make the payment as a company, it goes all the way to all who are needed to be, who might have to need it to as per the progress.
Definitely, this would be a topic for maybe another panel, and it requires its time. And I believe this is where many of the industries are heading. We have a few minutes left. Maybe we can take one question, if there's any question from the audience.
I have a question for Mr. Badr. You touched on filling the knowledge gap internally at Aramco. Do you see a challenge in doing so across the industry with your partners, such as consultants and contractors, in terms of reaching your expectations for digital construction working in the cloud?
The answer is absolutely yes. When we did our enterprise project management platform on the cloud, we noticed that there is a competency or knowledge gap between a company to a company, from big to small, from even some part of the world, they're not even up to speed with the rest of the world. So what we did is we made it simple, whereas we develop a platform that it's easy for all the companies to utilize. Not only that, we gave training sessions for everyone participating into our EPM, how they will maneuver around the module, how they will process their questions and answer, how they process their workflows for us. And it took us a journey, honestly speaking. It took us a journey in two folds. One, into the knowledge gap, as you said. Not everybody is in the same wavelength that we are in, but that we overcome it. The other challenge that we have is from cybersecurity. Not every company have the same strict cybersecurity as the others. So what we did, we went through the blockchain, or the supply chain, sorry, to make sure they have the security needed to connect to our cloud. Otherwise, we will not allow them. But with that, we improve their cybersecurity platform that they have and enable us to really communicate all into one platform.
I would like to hear from the panelists their final thought on maybe some lessons learned or best practices on their move maybe to the cloud, and some of the challenges and some of the opportunities that could be possible. Maybe we can start with you, Dr. Ahmad.
Thank you, Salim. I think the main challenge is we have the stakeholders working on projects. So we have the owner, the client, the consultant, and the contractor. The main effort has been done during the past period is on the consultants, recently on the owners. But many of the contractors need also to join this and be on the cloud. Working on BIM, not every contractor or subcontractor has the capabilities to work on a model that is published by a consultant, and then they do their workshop drawing, and then there's somebody from, let us say, now there's the term, the digital leadership, that come and check on each and every model. It's not an easy process. It's complicated, especially when we bring the contractor on board, where with the shop drawing, and we're talking about LOD 350 and 400 and 500. So it's going to be complicated. If the contractors will not be on board, it still means the story is not complete. So this is one of the challenges, and I'll leave the others for my colleague.
Definitely getting everyone on board would be a challenge to make a successful project delivery. Badr, any final thoughts for the audience?
Well, I think moving to the cloud, the digital transformation, it requires a lot of collaboration. You don't have to start from the scratch. You don't have to mimic large corporation or others. All what you need is to have partners with you in the success. You have to have partners like the technology providers, the digital transformation companies, to help you on ready-made solutions. Do not invent the wheel. Take a ready-made solution that fits your organization based on your size, based on the complexity that you are operating with, and build it block by block. Do not go to the high miles, just go block by block.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good advice. Fady?
I'm going to take it to a different level to say, for years, construction is the least digitized industry, but I think we can say that we have the will now, and it's heading into a direction not just to digitize it, but it will be the contributing factor to have a sustainable environment for everyone to live in. This is where we are, cloud environment, digital transformation, everything that we just mentioned, it's going to have a sustainable life, a more productive, efficient. We're looking to carbon emission, we're looking to enhance the place where we all live in. And we're on the right path.
Gerry?
I think I would echo what everyone else is saying. For us, I think collaboration is key, whether it's design, construction, even the operations team. I think it's key to show people, I mean, moving to the cloud is a disruptive process, but I think if you can show people the benefits to them and their own kind of, whatever it is they're doing, whether it's a client, a contractor, consultant, and then, people kind of lose the fear and then they kind of get more comfortable with it. If you can show them the benefits to them, then that, it encourages people to join in.